Hey, welcome to Sober Talk. I am Tom Mabe. First of all, I am not a doctor. I am not here to give it medical advice. I know nothing about that. And if you want to stop drinking, maybe we can help you find some ways, but not a doctor. And all right, stick around. We got a great show for you tonight. Big thing, we just found out drinkers live longer than non-drinkers. Check it out. Here we go. Woo! Woo-hoo! Woo! Woo! Wow! How you guys doing? Something happened to my hair. I was doing really good with my hair, and all of a sudden, I start telling my hairdresser or my barber, I don't have a hairdresser or stylist, how to do my hair. I said, I want it long on top, short on the side, but then they had to blend it in. And I had this movie star, long, luxurious, salt and pepper type hair going on, and now I don't. And but anywho, like I said at the top of the show, I gotta say this: I am not a doctor. I am not giving any medical advice. So don't listen to me. I'm just a guy who quit drinking, and this helps me out talking to you guys who can drink normally, or you guys who want to quit, or you guys who quit for like 20 years, like one of our guests coming on tonight. So that's that. So I saw a study about how not alcoholics, but drinkers live longer than non-drinkers, and I don't know what you guys think about that. But that's not true. There's no way that could be drinkers live longer than non-drinkers, because that's giving false hope to the people with alcohol, with drinking problems. I mean, hell, and doctors are under so much stress. You ask your doctors drink a lot. Doctors, anyone in the medical field, they're stressed out, and they drink a lot. You could tell your doctor, hey, I think I have a drinking problem. He's like, well, how much you drink? Well, I drink at least 6 beers a night. Well, hell, that's less than what I drink. You're fine. Um, but the thing is, if you're a true alcoholic, or if you have a problem with drinking, someone who drinks 12 beers a day is not going to live longer than someone who drinks a glass of wine every other night. And it's amazing. A lot of people worry about anxiety too when they quit drinking. What about this? And I had it. And when I stopped drinking, I had this anxiety. I could go home from a long day's work. Something, I lost an account, or someone didn't call me back. I was waiting on a call. A producer or somebody, or and I go home and I have a drink, or have a drink here, and that first beer is like, oh, that's all right. Daddy's home. That's magical. That's good stuff right there. And but that's false. That does make me feel good for a second, but the second, third, and fourth, and fifth beer doesn't make me feel any better. I just get drunk. A lot of people, I get a lot of emails from, man, I quit drink. I got to drink because I got chronic back issues, chronic pains in my legs, or pain in my legs, or whatever. And if you could go to a doctor and go, hey, I drank because I got this pain in my back. It's really, really bad. And he could go, and I heard this on a podcast today. It was a great example. I'm going to botch it. I'm going to butcher it trying to tell the story. But if the doctor could look at you and go, okay, well, we could give you this pill where it makes you not even think about the back pain. No back pain whatsoever. Or we could do this procedure over here that will fix the tumor that's on your spine, and you can live longer. Otherwise, you could keep on taking this pill, and you won't even know you have back trouble, but you're going to die. It's going to kill you, eventually, sooner than later. So that's a tough one, man. It's a baffling, cunning, powerful disease. It's an allergy to alcohol. You can't just have one. I always joke, say I'm allergic to alcohol. I'll break out in handcuffs. But I want to get on the phone. And look, if you guys want to talk, just leave your number in the comments here. I will call you. If you have any stories, or if you want to keep your number private, just email me, tom@tommabe.com. Let me go ahead and write that here. If you want to email me your number, you can email me, tom@tommabe.com, and I will call you, and you can tell us your war story. Maybe you're one of those fortunate people who can drink in moderation, but a lot of people who have the stress of families and jobs and bills and in-laws and bosses, we we self-medicate. We drink to deal with our problems, but then one day the drinking problem becomes more of a problem than what we were trying to medicate in the first place. What we were trying to push back, the boss being a jerk or the fighting with the kids and wife or whatever, your husband or whatever it may be. And, and I say this all the time. How do you know if you have a drinking problem? If it causes problems. That's how you know if you got a drinking problem. So let's get to the phone. We're going to call a guy that I love speaking to. And he can maybe shed some light on what he thinks about this phenomenon here. And let's see here. Hopefully this is going to ring. Here we go. Yeah. So how you guys doing? You doing good? The weather's changing. It's getting nice outside. I'm excited about that. It's cooling down. It's not so hot. Get ready to go back down to my place on the beach where it's nice and it's going to be nice, but hopefully not as humid. So, hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Chris. How are you?
We are doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm trying to find things to talk about on the show here, and this is part of like the 12th step. Giving back, doing some kind of service. Are you familiar with the 12th step or law? I'm not. Just someone told me, hey, you're doing a good deed. That's part of your 12 steps too.
Yes, sir. I'm very familiar with it.
What is it? Can you shed some light on the 12th step? Because I'm not following. I'm kind of an idiot in some way, so I misinterpret some of the steps. Or I'm not doing them correctly, or I don't want to do them. This whole amends thing. There's people who won't talk to me. They're not going to hear my amends anytime soon. But my wife, kids, they'll get it. But some people who have said things bad to you in work situations while I was intoxicated. But I'm not doing that one very well. I'm not even close to it. I'm still doing my resentments and my fears. But what about the 12th step? What is that about?
Well, it's about giving back, and it's making atonement, really. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Hold on. Something double talk here. So there we go. Turn that off. So if you were listening to the show when I called you, and boy, I went home, I made dinner. I'm like the cook in our house. I'm not a very good cook. I went home, made dinner, and just kind of brushed my fingers through my hair and threw a fresh shirt on and came right over here. So tonight is going to be kind of a potluck show. But one thing I was reading about people who these studies are saying that people who drink live longer than non-drinkers, and I touched on that a little bit, and there has to be people who drink in moderation, correct?
That is correct, and the difference there is this: wine is full of antioxidants and other things that are good for building your immune system.
Right.
So yes, that in moderation is what it's talking about. The problem is if you're someone like yourself or myself who has or is facing a problem with knowing when to stop.
Right. That's everybody. Anyone who watches this or emails, they all say, I don't know how to stop.
Right. That's the issue. And that's why it's good for us to stay away from it altogether, because we don't know when to stop.
Right. Or we don't. Go ahead.
And I can tell you a way to make other people understand it. It's like this. I battle obesity, but through diet and lifestyle change, I'm doing a lot better.
Okay.
Used to, when I would go to a buffet, it was nothing for me to pile up 4 plates because I'm going to get my money's worth.
Right. I've been there.
Now, when I go to the buffet, I get the green stuff, the good stuff first, and I only eat, maybe a plate or a little over a plate by adding some of the other stuff to it. It's kind of like that. When you're an alcoholic or facing alcoholism, your body's brain receptors react to the alcohol and causes a chemical reaction that releases pheromones and other things to make you feel better. And that's the reason you don't know how to stop. It's all scientific.
Right. it releases endorphins and dopamines and everything, and you're like, oh, this feels great. Uh,
Hmm.
so how have you been? What any you've been sober for 20 years. You still
Yes, sir.
do you still struggle with cravings and dealing things, or I talked last night about this guy called and he said, or he didn't call, he emailed me. He said, I was going to quit, but then this dog I got from this lady, it turned out to be the dog had parvo, and I had fallen in love with this dog, and within a couple of weeks, the dog had died. He said, it wasn't a good time to quit. There's never a good time to quit. You're going to be celebrating or mourning something, correct?
That's right. Well, for myself, the thing that revisits me not so much as alcohol, but it's drugs. I'll be sitting in my living room or in my study or preparing for a service or something, and then just out of nowhere, I'll just have an urge to go out and get high.
Okay.
And and it's easier now than it was when before to be able to just ignore it. And the way I do that is I busy my mind and I find something that gives me joy or pleasure right away. Because if you
Right.
occupy your mind with something else, then you're not going to keep thinking about, man, I'd really like to go out and get that dope right now, or whatever it is. See, but what people don't understand is uh, everybody has that in one form or another. Like I said, I used obesity in short reference. I mean, I know a lot of people who are addicted to food and they don't even realize they have an addiction to
Well,
food.
they have a 12-step program for just about anything, and one
Right.
one is food. And I used to joke. I used to say I'm like a chocolate holic, but for booze. Because they have a
Hmm.
chocolate 12. There's the 12-step is a. I used to make fun of it. I used to make fun of it in my act. I do stand-up comedy, and I used to joke about. But now that I've learned about it, and I'm really trying it because I've tried everything for so many years, for 30 years, to drink in moderation and this and that. Nothing works. I'm like, okay, and I had a lot of health issues. Yeah, I got to where when something wasn't going my way, I was a mean drunk. But I had a lot of health issues, like alcohol induced cardiomyopathy, a pulmonary hypertension, just all these things that I don't need any help trying to kill myself, and I was doing that. But the 12 steps really, really, wow, I think everyone should check out the 12 steps, even if you don't have an addiction problem.
Well, the 12 steps, they they're a roadmaps. What they are, they're guidelines,
Mm-hmm.
and once you realize that, then it makes perfect sense. I mean, who doesn't want to um, make things right if they're able? Any
Yeah.
normal person would want to do that. Who doesn't want to do something to give back? Any normal person would want to do that, and that's what people don't understand is you. Okay, let me put it to you like this: I go to the doctor, and the doctor tells me we need to do an operation on you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we're going to put you under, and we're going to operate on you. Well, they're not going to skip right to the end and just sew me up because I'm already sewn up. They have to prepare me. They have to cut me open. They have to do the surgery and remove what needs to be removed. And what people don't understand is the 12-step program mentally is the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. You're surgically um, you're surgically facing an issue that brought you to where you are now, whether it's your own fault or the fault of others. And I say it that way for a reason because sometimes we put ourselves there, but in most cases, it's something that happened to us in childhood.
Yeah, they say that trauma and abandonment is a huge, huge contribution to addiction. And sometimes there's trauma that you have, what's the word? You pushed it back. Oh geez, but you buried and you forgot it even happened. You know,
Yes.
yeah. And trauma doesn't have to be. You don't have to be raped by an uncle or anything. That doesn't have to. Trauma could just be a single mom screaming at you constantly, waking me at 3 a.m. Aren't these dishes done? There's different levels of trauma, but when you're 8 year old, 6 years old, 7, 8 years old, that is tough. That is. I remember telling my therapist, I said, I had a normal childhood. She's like, Tom, that's not normal. Uh, that's not normal at all. So, but but go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, no, that's all right. That's good what you're saying. Yeah, well, for me, regression. It's called regression. Is what it is. Um,
Repress, yeah.
I had regression.
Regression. Okay.
I had memories from my childhood start to resurface in my early 20s, and I was already dealing with some things that we touched on before, and it just blew me away because I didn't remember any of it, but yet I started remembering it, and it was more traumatic for me to remember it even in adulthood
Yeah.
than it was when I was a child, because these were people you looked up to.
Yeah, they're supposed to love you unconditionally. They set the bar.
Right.
They set what? Well, this is normal. These are the people that, and then if they abandon you, like, whoa, 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 you're supposed to love me.
hmm That's right, and that's what people don't understand. That everybody has a form of regression; they just don't realize it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing when we all realize that we're in this together, and we all have our own individual issues. It makes it so much easier to be able to relate. And how do you heal? Through relating to one another. And of course, I include my faith because I'm a pastor. But uh, being able to relate to someone, that's instant medicine because they've been where you've been.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful, that I've been able to work the steps, and I know they work. But there are a lot of people who are just starting. And here's the thing: many times in my life, I've had to go back and rework the steps, and it becomes an unconscious thing. You do it daily without realizing it. So
Yeah.
it's not just to go to a meeting. Okay, meeting's over. I'll be back here at 7 p.m. Wednesday.
Right.
It's a daily.
Do you get up
daily
and do
thing.
you still do do you still meditate and do your daily reflections and your nightly reviews and things like that? Do you go over your day and see how maybe what did I do today? I'm reading a lot in the big book and stuff about doing, you know, uh, kind of like your nightlies where you go and go, well, I was kind of mean to my son today. That wasn't good. And you take inventory of what your day was so you can like, well, tomorrow I'll work on not being such an ass, or tomorrow, or whatever. Do you do any of those traditional things, daily things, be it, you know, eh,
Yes, yes, I do. I
okay,
do, and a lot of mine is scripture related. Before I read the Bible or do my prayer time, I'll sit and have quiet time and reflect. And anybody who is familiar with Bible reading, the Apostle Paul had in there where he talked about in the scriptures. He said, "I die daily." And if you think about it, this is someone who was after God Himself as far as affectionately, but yet he mentioned his own weakness of having to die daily, and I call it a strength. I mean, to recognize, you go back to the Serenity Prayer to be
yeah,
able to change the things that you recognize you need to change and have the strength to do it.
and the wisdom to know the
Uh,
difference. Yeah,
yes. Um, and also knowing when to listen to others and when not to, because you get in a lot of trouble with that.
yesterday you and you're kind of becoming a regular on the show here, and thank you so much for your knowledge and your availability to do so. You said 7 times a righteous man falls down, and 7 times a righteous man gets back up. And I kind of equate that to, I kind of associate that with me trying to stop drinking. For the years and years that I did try to stop. But I did get back up. I found excuses why I need to drink or whatever, And this is totally killing my comedy page. I did start a new Facebook page called Sober Talk, and I'll share the link later because people are like, what is this? This isn't funny. What are you doing? Is this a joke? They're confused as to why I'm putting this on my main page. But I think yeah, but I love that seven times the righteous. Any other scriptures that really stand out to you?
Well, Tom, there's so many. I mean, another one that's a favorite of mine is, I wished above all that your soul would prosper and be in good health. Uh, there's another one that says, "Come unto me, all you that are heavy laden and burdened, and I will give you rest." And who in today's world does not need rest, whether you believe it or not? Every one of us need rest.
Yeah.
But there's so many I couldn't just.
No, that's
single
okay.
out.
I didn't know if anything just stuck out to you, and I appreciate you.
The one that strikes out the most is the one that said last night: 7 times a righteous man falls down, 7 times he gets back up.
I love that. I freaking love that. That's just I would love to have that on a T-shirt or a coffee cup or something. That is just so. They should like monetize the Bible. They should take some of the best. I guess some people do. I guess there's books of the best scriptures and things like that. But there's a ton of AA books, just different. That's but not by AA. There's spin-offs because I understand that AA is they don't want to commercialize. It's anonymous. They want the one-on-one connection. You can talk to a stranger on Zoom that you never met somewhere in Australia who he wants to help you because it helps him. And that's
yes.
Yeah. So that kind of that that's what you're doing to me, and I really appreciate that. Hey,
Well, I'm just thankful to be a blessing. But let me put it to you like this: you were asking about quotes. I'm going to give you another homework assignment. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, I want you to think back on your own life and phrases you've said over your life, and you'll find that there'll be phrases that you've said in your life that have been very helpful, but you haven't realized it. And they don't have to be out of the Bible or some book. I mean, it can be Tom Mabe says. So
Yeah.
think about that. Because we think about having to go to these great books and. But what do we have in ourselves?
Most of the great things I've said, I probably heard, so it'd be plagiarism. So,
Well, I think that's a matter of perspective. But
any out of your mind? Do you recall another? People love the war stories. The war stories is like the thing that is like my buddy Jamie Utley said. He said war stories is what happens at Denny's after the AA meeting, and people are like, "Oh, this one time I was out and I got drunk and I rode a horse for 6 hours straight. That little one out in front of Kmart, woo!" Anything that you can't believe you did while you were drunk that you should care to share?
There are so many of those.
You probably push those back. What did you call it earlier? Regression? You probably put those back or suppressed.
No, well, I actually use them as part of my testimony because the best, a lie is the hardest thing to keep going because you have to remember what you said before. But
right. Jesus.
If you say something that's true, well, I mean, it's true each time you tell it because it really happened. My biggest I can't believe it moment was I was a violent drunk.
Yeah.
I was a violent drunk. I was not a happy drunk.
Wow. Okay.
And anyway, I went to the liquor store. They had just shut down the register, and I needed it. I needed it now. And the guy says, "Well, I'm sorry, we're closed." And I just told the guy, I said, well, I'm coming through the door and I'm going to get what I want. And then I'm going to leave you the money and you can ring it up tomorrow. And I can't do that. And well, I did it anyway. But what hurt the most was the fear that I put into him that if he didn't do it, he didn't allow me to do that, that I was going to hurt him.
Oh, how long? When was this?
I was 27 years old when I done that. 27 years
Wow.
old.
And you're a big guy, right? You're at 27. Were you pretty buff and big?
I was a bodybuilder.
You're what?
I was a bodybuilder at 27.
Oh wow, bodybuilder.
Yeah, I'm not anymore. I don't look nothing like a bodybuilder, but so the guy was very scared. I mean, those are my kinds of stories that I can't believe. And I can tell you this: I've gone through 4 windshields. Okay, those are the kind of things you're looking for.
Wow.
I've gone through 4 windshields being drunk, and I'm still here. Okay.
No seatbelt. No seatbelt.
No seatbelt. I wrapped a '69 Ford pickup truck with a 429 Cobra Jet Police Interceptor motor in it at 120 miles an hour going around a curve around a tree, drunk, and I walked away from it.
Yeah, they say if you know you're an alcoholic, and then if your family tree has a truck wrapped around it, you know.
Yes.
Wow, and that you literally wrapped. Geez, you're lucky to be alive.
Yes, very blessed. Very blessed.
Yeah, and I've had my level of rock bottoms, but sometimes my rock bottoms is someone else's ceiling. You know, it's like nothing. Really, that's nothing. That's all you did. But I could. Yeah, and all my health issues are reversible if I live healthy. And it sucks. It sucks that I can't drink like a normal person, or I drink to a point to where it affected my health. And but it is what it is. I'm not a spring chicken. I really want to retire like really soon, and just spend as much time on the beach, but find stuff to get involved in that I like. Like I love doing this, but this will never ever be a living of any kind. It's just, but I enjoy doing it. So that's my thing, man. I just want to. We're in the 4th quarter of the game, and I don't want to foul out. And if I keep on drinking, I am going to foul out. I'm going to get a DUI. I'm going to hit somebody and kill myself, or kill someone, or say something to the wrong person, and get my ass kicked beyond belief. It's just really, yeah. I'm very blessed and very grateful that I am not drinking. I did not drink today, and my check liver light is it's on, but hopefully it will burn out, and that won't kill me. But well, man, thank you so much. Let's wrap it up. Anything else? And I appreciate you coming on like this. Anything else going on you would like to touch on before we take off?
Sure. I'd like to tell everybody listening, you are a great person. There's nothing that you've done that can't be undone. I love you. Tom loves you. Your life matters. And just don't give up the fight. If you lose today, you can win tomorrow. There's always another day to try to
Yeah, so many people.
again.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, hey, Chris, thanks. I will talk with you soon, and I appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
All right, we'll see you, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye.
That was my buddy Chris Castleman. He is very knowledgeable about about all things drinking, and I get people who email me and they're crying, and I'm just here. There's no hope. There is no hope whatsoever, and I just can't stop drinking, and their life sucks, and this and that. Things come together when you stop. I promise you, things tend to work out when you stop. And if you prove to the right people in your family and your friends, that, no, I'm serious about this, things will get better for you. So, all right, let's hop on the phone here. We are on call Robert, and Robert has struggled with drinking, he says, and Let's see what he has to say.
I'm here.
Hey, Robert, it's Tom Mabe from Sober Talk. I got your email. You said you have an um, on and off drinking problem, and you're wanting to cut back. What's going on with you? Tell me some stories.
It's 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 a long, and I'm actually shocked that I'm on the phone with you. It's awesome to meet you. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for listening. Thanks for taking the call.
Yeah, thank you. Mine started off very young. I was one of those guys that was, fortunate enough to be able to grow a beard at 15, and I was able to buy beer at a really young age.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah, we got started early, and I was lucky through my high school years and all that kind of stuff. Even though I drank a lot with my buddies, and then
right.
just shortly after my 21st birthday, talking about the question that you had up top was do drinkers live longer? And
Right.
I that's a very tough question because I've been super fortunate. It sounds like I was listening earlier. Um, yeah, I was fortunate, that I've had 4 DUIs over the course
Wow.
of my life. Yep,
Wow.
four
Were
of them.
any of them under the age of 21?
No, sir. The first one was actually 21 days after my 21st birthday. I was born on New Year's Eve. So,
Wow. Wow.
yep,
So you got
yep.
drunk on New Year's. Did you get arrested along? So no, you said it was 9 days or 20, no, 21 days after your 21st birthday. You had your first DUI.
My first DUI. Yep, I'll never forget it. And kind of got a slap on the wrist with the first one. And where I'm from, it's not Kentucky, but it's a little bit different.
Uh
So,
huh.
the laws are different. And I got two within 5 years. And they took my license for a year. And then I got my third one, and they took my license for 5 years.
So did you just
And
like
then,
stop driving, or did you just drive and hope that you never got pulled over?
well, yeah, once again, I'm not a bad driver. It's just that
You're a drunk
I,
driver.
I would speed when I was drinking. I never
Oh,
wrecked or anything like that. Yeah, I would just speed, and it was, it's the easiest way to get pulled over.
I got it. One of my best friends. He's not a drunk by any means, but he drinks and he'll two beers and he's going 90. I'm like, what are you doing? And it's something in some people that you want to drive fast when you're drinking.
And I also enjoyed drinking and driving simultaneously. I
Yeah.
loved it as well as
No, I've
riding
I've had beer.
motorcycles.
I've had
I did
beer in
all
the
that.
car. I've had beer in the car. Um, Looking around places to hide the beer in case I get pulled over because I pass up a cop going, 70 and a
Right.
65 or whatever. No,
Did you ever have to suck on pennies and see if that worked?
no, I never even heard of that. You
I heard
suck.
if you, I heard if you put pennies in your mouth, it's like the copper or something. I don't know. That's what I heard.
It what it
I
helps you with
tried it
it
once.
helps you with the breathalyzer test, right?
Didn't work.
Yeah, but that's the message you're saying. That's what you're saying that if you suck on pennies when you get pulled over by a cop, you don't.
Supposedly, yeah,
Okay,
supposedly it would help you with
the
some
breath.
sort of breathalyzer or somehow, something to that effect. At least that's what I heard at some point. I was in my
No,
20s, so I was
no, I've
still
I've
super
heard that.
naive.
I've heard that too. I've been pulled over a couple of times, like coming home from a comedy club, uh, and got really really lucky. Uh, I just got lucky. Let's leave it at that. And
No doubt.
yeah, and I guess you've been drinking, Mr. Mabe. I go, yeah, I had a couple beers at the comedy club. I had before I went up on stage, and I had one before I left. And he said, "All right, well, get home. Watch your speed."
It must have been a fan.
That happened twice in my life. No, three times. One in Ohio, one on 64 coming off Grinstead, and one on Gene Snyder. The one on Gene Snyder, I wasn't drinking. I was just going extremely fast in a little sports car.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like
Was that yellow
137.
Porsche you used to have or
The
something? I
yellow
saw the
Porsche,
yellow
the
Porsche.
yellow Porsche that got totaled. Yeah, the 911. It was a beautiful little car. I missed that car,
I
but
remember seeing that.
I didn't like it as much as my minivan. The minivan was more comfy, and at my height, at my height.
Here we
So,
go.
so you had. Do you drink now? Are you still drink?
I am. dude, I had a super rough day today. I've actually had 2 beers tonight.
So you're telling me two. So
I've been
translation is that like really? You said two, but have you really? Come on, no one has 2 beers. You've had.
No, I mean the first one only lasted about 5 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm on the second one now. So that's why I'm not slurring yet.
Okay. Okay. Someone says
No,
here in the comments. Someone in the
beer.
comments says refuse the breathalyzer.
Yeah, I
Refuse.
heard that too.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but no, how about just don't drink and drive? So you've had a tough day. You're on your second beer, and do you plan to get totally toasted tonight, or what? What are you thinking? I got to be honest. I'm starting to crave.
I gotta be up.
You gotta get up.
I gotta be up super early. I can't, but I did have a stressful day, and I hate to come on like sober talk, but I have to be honest with myself too, and I think that's kind of where it starts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And taking accountability for what's going on. So I mean, if I can finish off this one and maybe have one more, then I think that's and all in all for me, that's a good day.
Have you ever
considered this?
I've gone to bed for years every night. It's like, oh God, I'm a piece of crap. I'm a piece of crap. Tomorrow, I'm not going to drink. Starting tomorrow, I'm not going to drink. And then around 2 in the afternoon, I start feeling better. And hey, that sounds good as a beer. And my issue is, I work for myself, and I have a cool ass office that it's like Google in here, and I have refrigerators all over the place, and I always had beer in them. I have 3 fridges in here, and they would depending on what part I was in, what part of the office, I would have beer, and I could drink and drink and drink. But it got to the point where people want to schedule an appointment like 4 o'clock or 3:30. I'm like, nah, I'm booked solid, because I knew I would have beer in my breath. And I had a couple people come in with a band I was working with, managing at the time. They had to come in from a corporation they were going to hire on for their Christmas party, and I knew they could tell I'd been drinking. I said, guys, I just want to. Yeah, I've had a few beers. It's been a really.
So you can't clean with them?
Yeah, a really rough day.
Were they receptive when you said that? I mean, I'm curious now because you're telling the story. But
no, they were like,
cool?
the one guy. The one guy. This is awful. The one guy said, "Can I pray for you?" And I'm like,
"Oh wow!"
It was a faith-based college that they were doing a show, and I'm like, I felt like a piece of crap. I'm sitting there just, a good beer buzz on, and told them I just made up some kind of, bull crap story. My mom's died again or something. Who knows? It just, I forget.
Yeah,
but I knew they knew it was not normal for a guy to be drunk at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I had gotten a habit to where I would, and I think that's when I went 2 years. I did a 2-year stint. Someone said, "Hey, you can't be doing this, being while you're drunk," and they called me out on it. I said, "You know what? You will never see me drink again," and because I was about ready to quit for other health reasons and life reasons, family reasons, and and I stopped, and I set out I white knuckled it. And unfortunately, I didn't drink so much where I had the shakes or anything like that. I sat out in my back patio with an iPad, and I watched Narcos I watched a whole season for in a week. And finally, my wife.
The Mexico one, because I've seen Narcos too. I love it.
No, yeah, it's the one in Mexico. Yeah, with all the subtitles. It's so good. I sat there and read. And I can't even read, which is crazy. I just had to make up stuff. I just assumed I'm peaceful. But no, man, it was, if I ever, when you were talking about drinking beer, I had a crap, boy, beer sounds good. But if I could just go back and all the things I've said to people or hurt people drinking, if I had a DUI for every time I should have had a DUI, I've been in prison for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this has helped, man. I actually poured out the rest of my second beer, man, and I'm telling the truth, man.
Really?
I have a little bit of guilt. Yeah, I did. I've got a little bit of guilt going on. That's why, I was super excited, man, just to be able to kind of talk with you a little bit, man. It's super nice to meet you, first of all, and then, of course, everything else on top of it. Because it's a real, for me, it's kind of the same thing, man. I get frustrated, and that's my go-to.
Yeah.
But then it's just knowing when to stop, and that's the problem, because and irregardless of whether you're in a good
safe place or whether you're not, even if you're at home, you sit around and you drink a 12-pack or an 18-pack of beer, polish off a fifth of bourbon or whatever the case is, man. The next day you still got to atone for that. And that's my biggest thing.
I had the hair of the it's Robert, right? I had I had the hair of the dog
forever.
For every day. I've been having the hair of the dog for like 9 years, And I used to run
thing in the morning.
Yeah, I used to run these half marathons and this and that. I was a good-looking guy in my 30s, and
you weren't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's funny. But I got, I don't know. Look, there's a lot of great times with alcohol, but more than not, it always ended up bad. And I had to call.
The one thing that I completely agree with what you're saying is waking up and actually feeling good in the morning and having that carpe diem, kind of like I'm ready to take over and do what I got to do and make sure that everything's taken care of. Because at the end of the day, the guilt and let's even let alone the stuff that comes with having a family and having kids and everything that goes along with that. That's what a lot of people focus on. But for me, the biggest thing is waking up and just having that guilt and being like, damn. And then the first thing you want to do is go grab a shot because you feel like shit. So
yeah, and it's just killing you. It's just killing you. I would love to be able to go, hey, it's Christmas Eve. Let's go have a bottle of wine. But
yeah,
no, I've already been drunk most of the day on Christmas Eve and the night before. Or, hey, it's Christmas Eve. Let's get this drink.
Yeah, my birthday's New Year's Eve. So who are you telling? I party the whole week, and then by 12 o'clock midnight, I can't really remember the last time.
I party the whole month. I party the whole month. I party the whole year. Let's go. Hey, let's have a few drinks and go Christmas shopping. Let's go to Walmart. Let's go to Garden Ridge. Now it's called Home Store. I love going to this place called a Home Store in Louisville. You can look at Christmas ornaments like in July. It's such a great place. So, well, man, Robert. So did you really dump out that second beer?
Yeah, I sure did. My wife actually just got home.
What's the longest?
Finishing up the burger.
And
she's sitting here listening.
Is she?
Yeah.
Her and about two other people. So
yeah.
No, we got some people watching. What's the longest you've gone in recent memory? And I say recent memory, weeks or months, have you gone without drinking any type of alcohol?
It has been far and few between, my friend.
Really?
I always find a reason to go and at least crack one open at the end of the day. Seems like. Whether it's one or whether it's 15, always at the end of the day, it's always like, I just like to relax, regardless if it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whether it's, 8 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night or even 10. Sometimes I wake up and I can't go to sleep and I'll go up, crack one open.
I've had a drink on the side of my bed, wake up, reach over, grab the bourbon and Coke, make sure there's no ice in it or not too watered down. And take a big. It's like I gotta have it. I gotta have it. I if there's you got any beer left? No.
Man, you make it sound like we were sleeping in bed together because I've done the same thing.
Have you really? Honestly. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And my wife, she's not an idiot. She knows. I mean, she drinks. There's alcohol in the house, but like I drink, sometimes in a little bit of excess and. Even though I contain myself and I'm not a mean person or anything, but like the next day, the motivation's gone,
you ruin your whole freaking next day. You ruin first you start off, you ruin your whole day, you ruin your whole week, then you ruin your whole life. And then like one day you wake up and you go, what a waste of time. What the hell did I drink my life away?
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's a very true statement because I've been drinking once again since I've been 15. And I paid the price, man. I didn't have a driver's license for 16 years total.
Wow.
So, it was the 1 year revocation, and there was the 5 year, and then there was the 10 year. And I never got pulled over. I've never had a speeding ticket, nothing.
So your wife is right there. Your wife is right there.
Yeah.
I'm here.
So Robert, have you ever gotten drunk and cheat? I'm just teasing. So
here we go.
Here we are.
Mischief.
I'm just messing with this. There should be comedy sober talk. It's a comedy page for. Now, Well, your wife sounds like she's a very cool part. How long you been married?
We have been married 1 year and 4 months and a couple days. I'm sorry, baby. I don't know exactly how many. Yeah. We got married last, yeah.
We got married last year.
June 11th, yeah.
Well, congrats. You're still newlyweds. Well,
Yeah.
I want to give Connor a call, and we're about ready to wrap our show up here. Anything you want to say? Anything you want to wrap up? Any advice for you give people who maybe you don't have advice on quitting drinking, but people who are sober, they want to start drinking. Maybe I don't care how long you've been trying to start drinking. Robert can help you start drinking. No, I'm teasing. Do not go there. But do what now?
Yeah. My wife said just wean yourself off of it. I've actually had some issues with, like DTs where I've gone and had, a couple days without drinking, and I've had some shakes and, the vomits and everything else that comes along with it.
Yeah. From what I can tell and read, man, I'm not a doctor. I have no idea. I tell everybody, go talk to your doctor and see what the best plan of attack is for you. But yeah, if you have the time and insurance, go somewhere for 6 or 7 days. And like a buddy of mine, his health is so bad that he needs to go somewhere where they can watch his blood pressure and his heart and everything, because he could stroke out. A matter of fact, I think when he's talking to the doctor about quitting drinking, that the doctor told him, well, we need to seriously discuss that because you just can't white knuckle this, So
yeah, that can be it can be a dangerous thing.
Well, because his health is so bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say mine has been, relatively light, nothing crazy, but it's a very real thing, from what
absolutely.
I've heard. My dad and grandfather were both drinkers, so it's no secret. But yeah, I'd love at the end of the day to be able to, shelf the bullshit and just deal with it head on instead of going for a drink or grabbing something. It just makes more. Because there's been days where I know I said it wasn't a lot of days. There were some days where I woke up in between drinking and I felt great. And it's like, why wouldn't you want to wake up like this every morning?
Dude, I've been waking up for the past week or so. I've been waking up going. My wife and I will walk like 4 or 5 miles. And this morning I walked by myself because I got up really early. I'm getting stuff done. I am getting stuff done and good stuff, not just So I quit drinking. I got this thing called my Spiritual Toolkit. It's a free app that I downloaded, and apparently, I quit. It's called my Spiritual Toolkit. I quit 45 days ago, 1,074 hours, 1.45. Yeah, and the day is they have these. This is great. Like they have like a lot of people are not AA guys. I right now on my journey.
Inspirational thing that goes along with it.
Yeah. So like they have something here. It says I believe that Alcoholics Anonymous stands alone in the treatment of alcoholism because it is based solely on the principle of one alcoholic sharing with another alcoholic, and that's kind of what we're doing here. This helps me out. I mean, I know my diehard fans are like wondering what the hell is Mabe doing here. I'm not doing my career any favors by doing this, but I'm doing my health, and the few people who email me.
That's why you're Mabe in America, man. Make America great.
Make America great again. Make Mabe in America great. We're not gonna go there. I just lost 7,000 followers. How about that? So
there we go. Oh crap.
Well, sorry. Robert, thank you so much.
I was talking about you in particular, sir.
Right. Okay.
Trying to put out nothing political there. Sorry.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. I'm just funning. All right, buddy. I will talk with you down the road, man. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you. I'll talk to you soon, hopefully.
All right. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks again. All right. Bye.
I don't know if you guys I could tell in that guy's voice that his wife really had the hots for me. You could just tell by the way she kept on chiming in. Tease it. All right, we're going to call one. We got one last caller we're going to call. His name is Connor. And I will say this. I know Connor. He's a younger person. He's probably 25 years old or so. I have met him, and we have discussed things in the past about addiction and this and that. He's a good kid, and he has some war stories. He has some serious war stories. War stories are things you've done while you were drunk or using or whatever. By the way, there's on TikTok one of my videos. People are lip syncing to my prank calls, and they're going mega viral. I thought it was cool as heck. But let's go 2, 3, 5. All right, this is Connor. We are calling Connor right now. Even though I'm not.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 50.
Oh, hold on. I dialed the wrong number. I do that every time, man. If you ever get an email from me, people can't even, you got to take a special class just to interpret my emails. And it's so dyslexic. And
Hello.
Hey, Connor. Tom Mabe. How are you, brother?
I'm good, Tom. How you doing?
It's good. You sound healthy. Bring me up to speed. Last time you were struggling with a few things. How are you now? And you're live, by the way. And I forgot to tell the guy earlier, but keep the cursing to a minimum. I don't want to get banned from Facebook. But tell me, bring me up to speed where you are. What's going on? How's your health? How's your sobriety? Are you still drinking, using, or whatever? And you can be totally honest. Everyone watching right now they're drug addicts and they're drunks. So we are all here, just sharing a little fellowship and just helping each other out. So where are you at on your journey?
Well, right now, I haven't drank in quite a bit. I'd say a couple weeks.
Okay.
I'm still smoking a little weed every now and then just to keep my nerves at bay. But, my health is good. I just started working. I just got a job. It feels good to be working again, being a stay-at-home dad for quite some time.
Dude, I was a stay-at-home dad before I even had kids. So that's
yeah.
No, that's a joke. It's not, you know what? And that's not my joke. I heard that. I forgot what's that guy's name. We used to work with him. But go ahead. So you're a stay-at-home dad, and you're going to work and getting out of the house, which is important, man. It's easier to work 3 full-time jobs than to be a stay-at-home parent. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think it'd be so hard. I'm like, it's not that hard until I had to do it. And I'm like, this is the hardest job I've ever had in my life.
Being a parent, yeah, and it's hard. It's hard to take care of a baby when you're hungover, right?
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. And you got to get up and make sure you're squared away. You can't be drunk. If say your kid falls and hits his head or something, you got to be ready to take him to the hospital or just be there to take care of him. You can't be drunk. And so I quit drinking and I feel a lot better. I don't even have any urges to drink anymore.
Now, isn't it funny? Once it gets out of your system, you're like, oh, when I hear people say, I quit drinking, I'm just doing heroin now, or whatever. And do you feel like you're trading one addiction for the next, or what are you thinking?
Well, I've always smoked weed, ever since I could remember, really, since I was like 14, but no, I don't think I've traded. I'm smoking a lot more cigarettes now. That's for sure. But I don't know, man. I do feel better. It feels good not to wake up hungover, and everything bad that's happened to me in my life has came from alcohol. From getting shot twice.
Tell us about that. Tell us about getting shot twice. I want to hear this, and I think when we say some people's rock bottom is other people's ceilings, I would say, from what little I've heard about your stories, you've had some serious rock bottom, should be dead type moments.
Yeah. Well, the first one, it was about 3 years ago. I shot myself with a 12-gauge shotgun in my right shoulder area, thinking that I would just bleed out or whatever and die, which I didn't. As soon as I did it, I called 911. I was like, all right, this is a mistake.
Right.
And so I healed up from that and everything was fine, but I just got to drinking and I got sad and I didn't even think about it. I just did it. And the second time was recently, June 2nd, when I got shot by the police. That was a lot worse than the first one, because
didn't they shoot you multiple times? I mean, and
they shot me. They shot at me 3 times. They shot me once. I got hit one time. I got hit in my where my chest and where my abdomen meet. I got shot right there, and it went through my right lung and came out my rib cage.
And this is because you were drunk and you came out your door waving a gun.
Yeah, well, I put the gun to my head and they shot me. And now I'm facing charges for wanton endangerment on a police officer, first degree.
Yeah.
And I didn't even, I didn't aim my gun at them.
Yeah, but you had it in your hand. It's hard to tell, right?
Yeah,
hard for them to see what's going on.
Yeah, they don't know what I was going to do. And, I got what I wanted, or what I thought I wanted. I wanted them to shoot me. It was going to be a suicide by cop, but I was drunk.
That's what. So real quick, we're people. If you're joining us, you're listening to Sober Talk. We're a group of individuals who meet here almost every night, and we just talk about. We tell war stories, and right now we talk about how long we've been sober, or how we want to get sober, and what works for this person, what didn't work for this person. And right now on the phone we have Connor, and Connor got shot. He came out of the house with a gun. I guess someone called the police on you, Connor?
No, I called them myself. I told them that I was in distress, and they thought they were going to come pick me up and take me to U of L, but I had other plans.
You were wanting to you want to commit suicide by police?
Yeah, I was too scared to do it. After shooting myself the first time, I don't think I could have done it a second time.
Wow.
And I wanted, it was just, it was scary. When I got shot, the first thing I thought about was my son, and I thought about his mom, Lexus, and how I was never going to see them again. And thank God I'm still alive. If it would have just been a couple inches over.
Let me enter. Yeah, 2 inches over you would have gotten you your heart. Now this Ted Watson Jr. just commented. He said the struggle is much less difficult when you follow a program, and I have been anti 12-step for years and years, and that's embarrassing. Well, no, just not being on the local news because you're trying to commit suicide by, having the cops shoot you. That's not embarrassing. I'm gonna,
right.
And that's how I've done a lot of more things embarrassing other than going to an AA meeting. A lot more embarrassing than going to an AA meeting. Do you work any kind of a program? Are you considering AA with the Zoom meetings, or they how many times have you tried to stop by yourself? And the second part, are you considering getting in some kind of 12-step program or some therapy or something?
I've tried many times. I've been to the Brook many times. Trying to quit.
The Brook is a rehab facility treatment center, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I went there multiple times, tried doing outpatient, and I've never really stuck with anything in my life, except for being a dad. But that's I enjoyed the AA meetings, like the open discussions. I don't really enjoy sitting there and listening to someone talk for about an hour.
Yeah, I was always told you haven't found the right meeting. I found a meeting on Zoom at 7 morning called the Early Worms, and I really enjoy it. I haven't spoken in the meeting yet. I sit there and just listen and say the Lord's Prayer, and I go. It's a routine for me, and it's a reminder not to drink. And I'm still learning the steps. I have buddies who are helping me understand, the steps, and I'm twice your age, so but now it's starting to make sense. I don't want to be just alcohol free. I want to be alcohol free and happy, and the steps are like, they're helping me not be insecure, not having self pity. It's amazing. The 12 steps what Chris was saying earlier. It's like a roadmap for life. So what's your plan, Connor? Are you going to snap out of this? I worry about you smoking pot and doing other things and saying, "Well, I don't drink anymore."
I want to be completely sober, and see how I feel when I'm just sober. I want to feel happy without anything, and I think I can get there. I think maybe a 12-step program will be in my future. You know, I'm sure, you know, maybe one day I will drink again and I'll fall off again and I'll have to go get some serious help. But right now I'm just taking it one day at a time. I'm focusing on my son and my family and my job and the job is the thing that helps me right now.
Yeah, because you can't really go to work messed up, you know.
Yeah, and I work third shift too, so I gotta come home.
Nice.
I gotta sleep at night or sleep during the day and be there at night. I'm the only one there, so I can't be messed up or nothing, you know.
Right.
I gotta do my job, and it keeps me. And then like, you know, when I get home, I gotta stay up for a couple hours and try to take care of my son as long as I can before I have to go to sleep. So, you know, it's an adjustment, but that helps me not want to drink and trying to do one day at a time.
Yeah, I got you. Well, Connor, I know some of your backstory and some of your. I really would love. I think you would be. And what are you, like 23, 24, 25? How old are you? 25 yet?
25. I'll be 26 in November.
Okay, right in time for the election.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I think that your story will. I think people want to follow your journey and where you're at. You know, you got a small baby, and how old is your son now? Is he a year yet?
Yeah, he's a year and a half, or he'll be 2 in November. He's a little over a year and a half.
Okay, so I mean that's concerning. You know, so you have to do it for your, you know, maybe your willpower. You know, quit doing self will and do God's will, and then do, you know, your son's will.
Yeah,
you have to show up sober, dude. You can't be a piece of crap dad. You can't do that. I did it for years. Trust me. You're young.
Yeah,
I'm jealous of you being young and your kid not seeing you drunk when they're 16. You know, with their friends with them, and like, God, Dad, you're a piece of shit. Dad, you're just golly, Dad, you're just a loser. Don't let it get to that.
I want him to be proud of me.
Yeah.
I grew up with alcoholism in my family, and I can tell how it changed me, affected me, and, you know, for some weird reason, I decided to go down the same path. But
well, it's hereditary too, you know. So I tell my kids now, I say, you know, I missed a lot of you guys growing up, you know, being buzzed. Now, I mean, I wasn't passed out drunk every day or nothing like that. So they did have, you know, they don't need or want for anything, and what they want is sober dad. But I said, you know, you guys, one thing you can learn from this, the takeaway of this, you know, series of unfortunate events, is that you guys can be wired like me. So keep it in check. You know, if you're going to drink, you know, watch out, because you could definitely, you know, fall victim to, you know, alcohol or any kind of a drug if you have the addictive personality. Well, dude, I want to let you go. I got to make one more call to Danny Holland here, and then I get to go home and take 5 dogs out for a walk.
All right, Tom. Sounds good. Thank you for calling.
Well, thanks for being on the show, and I'll call you soon.
All right, sounds good.
See you, brother.
Bye-bye.
So that's Connor. I know his family. They're all great people. They've been through a lot due to this incredible addiction and this whole, you know, disease and whatever you want to call it. It just sucks. You know, you can call it just sucks. But good people, but boy, they get a triple dose of it with all the stuff they've been through. So we're calling Danny. He's down in the Gulf Shores, I think.
Hey, Tom Mabe.
Hey, Danny Holland, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, buddy.
Are you
doing all right? Hanging in there?
I'm doing well. Are you in the Gulf Shores right now, or where are you?
I am in Mississippi right now.
Okay. And you and I have spoken several times over the years, and you have always indicated that it always seems like you were a bartender, you worked in bars, you own bars and all this stuff, but you always sound like you used to be a drinker, but you're now no longer a drinker. I never really asked. I didn't think it was any of my business.
Not to the extent. It's fine, Tom.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't drink anywhere near than I used to. From the bar business, I came out of the music business, I was a rock and roller, so
Right. Yeah.
doing a lot of shows. I was on the road 300 days a year. And, you know,
Now, are you on
it was
speaker? Are
always
you
there.
on
The
speaker?
party
Are
was
you on
always there.
speakerphone or anything? Because you're cutting in and out. If you are on a regular phone, talk directly into the receiver.
Is this any better?
I think so.
My phone case is messing up a little bit, Tom.
Okay, gotcha. No worries.
All right, yeah, the phone case has been giving me a little trouble.
Yeah.
So yeah, rock and roll, 300 days a year. I was always in the party. I was there.
Yeah.
And my company was doing large festivals. I was, you know.
And what did you ever have a rock bottom? What made you decide? All right, I'm no spring chicken. I can't live like a rock star. When did you?
I've had some loss in my life. I don't know that my rock bottom, you know, if you want to call it such, you know, losing almost everything and living a very pared down, simplistic life with my dog on the beach in a hammock. Probably the best thing ever happened to me.
Really?
You know, my mother wouldn't call it optimum, but it was the best summer of my life. You know, I really found myself. I gained a lot of clarity.
And were you homeless were you homeless in a hammock due to some kind of drug use or alcohol use?
Well, it was a mix of my habits, the big recession.
In 2008. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. That was tough.
So yeah, you know, I wound up. You know, I was painting condos in the evenings, and I do it at night. I paint the condos at night.
Right.
The interiors. Down in the Orange Beach Gulf Shores area.
Yep.
And I wouldn't say this out loud if somebody hadn't busted me doing it already. I was stripped down to my boxers because I only had one pair of nice shorts and one pair of blue jeans and maybe a couple of t-shirts.
Oh, so you didn't want to get
along with me.
You didn't want to get paint on your good clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't want to get paint on my clothes. You know, it's funny. I was in this whole thing. I still don't want to call it rock bottom. My rock bottom was had sand on it, so it was pretty soft.
Yeah.
Right. I had a lot of friends, a good support group. I'm trying to get back on my feet. I'm staring down the throat of bankruptcy. I did have a condo, but I'm in the middle of losing it. That was a very shameful point in my life, but I bounced back so high that I don't mind talking about that shameful point. Because
so you're saying life got much better when you chilled out on the drinking and whatever else you were doing.
Yeah. Well, I was in a college town. I was a rock star. I was freaking partying all the time.
Right.
That was my life. That's the only life I knew. And until I got to pare it back and see what I could give to the earth and the earth could give back to me, you know, I'm basically living off of hope and a prayer. Tom.
Yeah.
You know, I was working painting condos until my hound dog wants in.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear him.
And hey, and just quick, just so you know that I have one more. I was supposed to have been off at 9. I didn't realize it was 9:08. So I probably need to wrap this up in like 2 minutes so I can make this. I've been telling this guy calling for 3 days, and I'm going to call him after you and I talk. But keep on.
Awesome.
I'm going to hear the rest of it.
Well, sure. I mean, it's really hard to sum up, Tom. It's a 20-year journey.
Yeah.
You know, to where I am now. And again, I'm not a teetotaler, but I do avoid sometimes going places where I know everybody's going to be drinking.
Yeah.
Because I just don't want to feel bad in the morning. I don't want to feel bad tonight. I want to come home, and if my nephew calls me and wants to play Xbox, I want to be on top of my game.
Yeah. Well, and so
it sounds like reasons.
It sounds like you have just become an adult drinker, and you're one of those lucky people who can stop drinking and cut back and say, you know, I mean, God, never in a million years can I stop drinking at 7 at night. Go, hey, you know what? I'm going to sober up because my nephew and I'm going to play Xbox. I won't be able to kick his butt. Never would be able to do that. You know, I'm not wired where I can just stop. You know, they say if you want to know you have a drinking problem, go to a bar, have 3 beers, and then just go, I'm done, and just leave and see how that fares for you. It sounds like you can't
Yeah,
do
my Sundays aren't like that. I have friends that come over here or follow me down to Florida or the Orange Beach area, and they want to party all weekend, and that's difficult.
that. Yeah.
You know, it's the morning starts with Bloody Marys. Now I can avoid those.
Yeah.
We get out, we're listening to music, and you know, if I'm driving, I'm at a point now. I've had incidences in my life that I don't want to repeat, and I'm at a point now where I can have a beer, an hour, and try to maintain there. I'm still struggling with it, but I think everybody does, and I really enjoy your sober talks. I'm
thank
enjoying
you.
all of
It's
it. The
it's
spectrum's here.
it's very unique for me to do on. Like I said, I started a Sober Talk Facebook page, and you can see it has this logo right here, very similar to that. And I'm gonna start sharing it because I think people get upset when they. This is on my fan page, and my fan page, you know, I got
Sure.
on this page I got 989,000 followers who don't really want to hear me talking about not drinking beer. And I get the emails. What is this? I didn't sign up for this. Um, but
Right.
it helps me so much. You know, my wife said you can do sober.
Well, if it helps you, I'm glad to help you. I feel like y'all are helping me.
No,
Like I
yeah.
said, I'm not a teetotaler, but I want to be better.
Thanks, Danny. And I'm glad it is helping you. And I think like right now we got 40 people, 39 people listening. But by the time in the night, a lot of people don't want to be seen live, so they'll wait till the live feed is over and then they'll go watch it. But and I get it. I get it. I was in denial for years and years. But, you know, again, at my age, I just don't care. I just want to be a better person and a healthier person. But, dude, I want to make this quick call, and then I will talk with you. You'll probably see you soon down the road.
Yeah, let's try to do that, Tom. I'm gonna get up to the northeast, or the east coast, to see you guys, and as well, I've got a new project down on the Gulf Coast. I'd like y'all to come see.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah. We're due a Orange Beach trip soon. So, all right, man. I'll talk with you soon.
Okay. Thanks, Tom. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. So, guys, I need to call one more person. You stick around just for a minute. I'm anxious to see what this guy, Derek, I'm calling you, and I gotta warn you, my wife is burning up my text, wanting me to come home and take the dogs out. So there we are.
Hello.
Hey, Derek, it's Tom Mabe with Sober Talk. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So are you a drinker, a user, or what do you do?
Well, I've never. I was just calling in, but I've never drank in my life.
Oh, good. How old of a guy are you?
I'm 26.
Well, good. So do you feel the pressure of needing to drink when you go out, or do you go out much, or?
I go out sometimes. People try to get me to drink, but I tell them no because I'd rather not.
Was your grandfather, or your father, or somebody a big drinker?
My dad. My dad.
Okay, so your dad. So you said, no way in hell am I ever going to drink because Dad was.
There's no way in hell I'm going to be touching a beer.
Wow.
That's why.
Was he just not present, or did he do bad things, or did he get?
He was just drinking a lot.
Yeah, and you could see that he was addicted to it, and he couldn't drink moderately, or yeah.
Yeah. I'm a really big fan of your videos on YouTube as well.
Oh, cool, man. What part of the world are you in?
I live in Morristown, Tennessee.
All right, cool. Well, hey, man, I wish we could talk longer, but I need to wrap it up in like 40 seconds because my wife is. I usually go 1 hour, and I'm 13 minutes over, and she's freaking the heck out. Anything else going on with you in your world?
That's it. I was just calling to let you know.
Well, thanks, Derek. I appreciate it, and we'll talk with you down the road.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.
I'll see you.
So, guys, thank you so much for listening to Sober Talk. If you want to be on the show and you have good topics to talk about, I'm trying to. My personal therapist just had she's like out of the country, and so she's not going to be able to come in. She's doing something. I don't know. Maybe it's Jane. Jane, if you can hear me, if you're watching, we need you. We need you to be on the show. I'm just repeating the same stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is, I want to reiterate that I don't have the answers. I don't have any real advice. I just like having a dialogue with people who do have drinking problems because it reminds me not to drink. So, guys, I love you. Thanks for hanging out, and we will talk maybe tomorrow night. I have shows this weekend, so this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I will not be doing sober talk. And love you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. Are we still on? Are we still on? Check one, check two, check one, check two. All right. See you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. I may do sober talk from the show. I just want to make calls. All right. We'll love it. Talk to you soon. Bye.